It goes without saying that a big part of keeping your man hot and bothered is stirring up desire. The good news is that a well-worded text message is all you need to do so. If you're nervous about sexting, don't be. The text you send can be as PG or X-rated as you're comfortable with. That said, keep in mind that the juicier the message, the better his reaction. If you're new to sexting, start slow and send him something that'll arouse him without saying too much. Simply giving him a sexy mental image of you will do the trick. For example, mentioning that you're about to hop in the shower or saying that you're out bra shopping will stir up desire and get him thinking about you sexually. Depending on how your guy responds, you'll know your next move. One key tip to keep in mind when sexting your guy is to make sure that your texts are as descriptive as possible. The more he can picture what you're saying to him, the better. For instance, instead of telling him that you wish he was there, tell him what you'd be doing if he was. Or instead of saying, "I want to kiss you right now," describe in full detail you doing so. This may sound cheesy, but again, the more vivid and descriptive, the better. Now, from the top, 10 texts that'll drive him crazy with desire. Number 1, I want your hands all over my body. This text works well for stirring up desire for 2 reasons. First, it lets him know that you think about him in that sexual sort of way and that you want him. And second, it gives him something to visualize. Letting your guy know that you crave his touch will keep you on his mind. Number 2, tell me what turns you on and we'll do it tonight. Now, not only does this text tell him that you're open to exploring new possibilities with him, which alone will turn him on, but it also lets him know that, again, you're thinking about the 2 of you being sexually active together. Just be careful with this type of text message and don't agree to do anything that you have no intention of actually doing. While texting is a great place to live out your fantasies together, if he asks you to do something that you're not into, don't say you will. Simply put, say what you mean and mean what you say. If you're not comfortable, say so, or better yet, avoid this particular text message. Number 3, you show me yours and I'll show you mine. This one goes back to the playground days, when little boys and girls first realized that their parts are in fact quite different from each other. Revisiting that early curiosity can be sexy, and sending your guy this message will not only make him smirk, but it'll also get him thinking about you, naked. Number 4, I want you so bad right now. The things I would do if you were here. There's no better way to get your guy's mind racing with lust than to send him this message. It's direct, it's sexy, and it'll make him want to drop whatever it is he's doing and race over to you. Leaving the details to his imagination allows him to imagine whatever it is he's longing for without making you tell him yourself. If he asks you what those things you mentioned are, you can answer with a sassy, "You'll have to wait and see," or "Come find out." Or if you're feeling bold enough to go into detail, then do so. Either way, he'll be going insane with desire for you. Number 5, I had the steamiest, sexiest dream about us last night. Similar to the previous message, this is another sext that leaves the details to his wildest imagination, and all you have to do is plant the seed. By simply mentioning a sexy dream you had about the 2 of you, you open up a whole world of possibilities. Number 6, do you like my new bra or panties? This text should be accompanied by a photo of whatever it is that's in question. However, be careful not to send him anything too explicit too soon. After all, you never know who else is going to be seeing these pictures. And even if he says he won't show any of his pals, you don't really know for sure. That said, if you want to be really sneaky, you can send him this text without a photo. And you can almost guarantee that he'll be replying as quickly as possible, asking where the photo is. At this point, you could fib and say the photo won't send for whatever reason, but then invite him over to come see for himself. As always, make sure this is something you're comfortable with. If you get his hopes up, then later refuse to give him a peek, well, he's going to think you're all talk, which is not a turn on. Number 7, I'm laying naked in bed. Come play with me? This text message is direct and to the point. Best of all, you don't actually have to be even doing this while you send it. But of course, keep in mind the reality of the situation. Meaning, if he knows that you're at work, then sending him this message will only confuse him and end with you confessing that you were only messing. Unfortunately, that isn't going to get him all hot and bothered. However, When sent at an appropriate time, this text will have him turned on faster than a fighter jet. If he does accept your invite, well, take position. Again, though, only send this message if you're at this point in your relationship. If the two of you have yet to hit second base, then you may want to keep this text in your artillery and use it down the road. Number 8, thinking of all the things I'm going to do to you later, XO. Another text to get his imagination running wild. This message is especially perfect for creating some flirty banter between the two of you. If he asks you to elaborate, you can either choose to share the things you have in mind, or you can tell him that you'll have to wait until later. Number 9, I wish I could taste you right now. Leaning more towards the X-rated spectrum, this message will have him wanting you like no other. Depending on his response, which will likely be sexual, you can choose to either keep the conversation going or invite him over. If you're not comfortable sexting him, then you may want to choose a milder text and save this one for when you are ready to rumble. Number 10, just thinking about you makes me wet. Perhaps the most X-rated on this list, only send him this text if you're prepared to engage in full-on sexting, because you can bet that his response to this message will be anything but innocent. If he sends you back a text that is equally as dirty, know how to reply to him, and more importantly, be sure to do so quickly. If you leave him hanging, waiting to hear from you for hours, then he may start to feel embarrassed about his message, question whether or not he should have sent it, or it could even put him a bit on guard in the future. That's not what you want if you're looking to stir up desire. Instead, keep the steamy conversation going and don't make him feel foolish for sexting you. After all, it takes two to tango. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned and you'll be hearing from me again soon.